Hello everyone, I'm Kyle Luscher from Professor G's online History 1 class. So for my primary source assignment, I decided to take an overview look and in-depth look at the First Enlightenment. Now, looking at the First Enlightenment, I came up with my own personal theory. My theory is that the widespread of the Enlightenment's moral code and the Enlightenment's religious aspects did result in an uneven spreading. So what I mean there is that some people accepted it more and some people accepted it less than others because of the moral code having to do with the widespread of Christianity for the first time, really. So my underlying thesis, my secondary thesis, is that the rich would accept it less than the poorer classes, and the middle class would have the most unbiased opinion on the topic. The reason I say that is because slavery was a strong moral code that was now, according to religion, not acceptable. Everyone was a human, has given the same rights at birth, that everyone should be created equally, was one of the strong moral codes in early Christianity, and it is today still. So someone that would be in the higher class, a rich class that relies on slave labor, would not necessarily accept the First Enlightenment as much as someone who was of the lower class, who doesn't have slaves and is just looking for religion and thinks everyone is treated equally, and that they want to get a higher ground on the playing field. So if you're a slave, you want to believe in the First Enlightenment because you will now be free. You will get paid for your services, and there will be less slavery and less of all of that, and you will get more rights if you believe in this religion. So of course you're going to want to join it. Of course you're going to agree with the First Enlightenment. And then the richer class will not agree so much because they rely on the slave labor for keeping their well-being. Now the middle class workers are not rich, and they do not necessarily always rely on slave labor. Some of them do for farms, but not all of them do. Not all of them rely on that. Some of them rely on their families. They can get by on their own. So this is where I think has the most unbiased opinion is the middle class, because they don't benefit from it, but they also don't get hurt from it too much either. So this is the class that I'm looking at for my primary source of my thesis, and about how the majority of the population did look at this. And the majority of the population, in my opinion, has always been the middle class. I mean, sometimes it's lower class, but for the majority of America's history, it's been the middle class. So I'm looking at the middle class's views on the First Enlightenment to see how well it spread, and also taking into consideration that certain people would not accept it as well as others because of their economic standpoint. So thank you for listening to my verbal outline for my project for history. I hope all you guys will enjoy my video, and thank you very much for a wonderful semester, Professor G.